All right, I got a perspective that I want to share and a consideration that I want you to have. All right? It's serious. I'm going to play this clip first.
Charges this morning against an American citizen accused of providing material support to ISIS. A grand jury in upstate New York has brought a 7-count indictment against this young man, 30-year-old Mufid Elfji. He is accused of trying to help 3 men travel to Syria to join ISIS. He's also accused of plotting to kill U.S. service members. I want to discuss it all with CNN law enforcement analyst and former FBI Assistant Director Tom Fuentes. Tom, thanks so much for joining me to talk about this. I mean, this is a shocking and upsetting development to a lot of people. Feds say he was plotting and supporting this 30-year-old Yemeni-born shop owner. 7 counts. This is a bad dude.
Yes, Michaela. I mean, this is exactly what the authorities have been worried about, and this has been happening actually for more than a decade, where people are trying to recruit others to go join jihad in some country or other. We've had this already happening in the Somali communities,
right.
Going to Somalia, going to other countries, and we've seen it with Al-Qaeda in the past. We're seeing it with ISIS now, and you know, the problem is you cannot contain the ideology. So as long as these guys can use the internet and now add social media on top of that, it makes it quite easy for them to use these techniques for recruiting.
But it also makes it easy, that tweet footprint, because this guy was sending out tweets, as you mentioned, that makes it easier for law enforcement to follow, monitor, etc. I want to talk about something that I found particularly interesting. This indictment alleges that, you know, he paid for passport costs, coordinated travel, connected his recruits with ISIS contacts there. This guy kind of had some juice. This is a big get.
Well, it is. And, you know, this is the fear that guys like this in our country are able to not just get people to decide to join ISIS, but actually assist in helping them get there.
Correct.
And the problem with trying to track who goes and when they come back is that if he can get them into a country, in this case it was going to be fly them to Dubai, but if he gets them into, let's say, Eastern Europe, Greece even, it's not just across the land border of Turkey into Syria, but they can arrange for boat travel to sneak them into Syria across the water, and their passports will never show anything other than maybe they flew to Paris or Frankfurt or somewhere in Europe and then flew back from that location, and it won't show if they went by boat or land into Syria, joined the cause, fought, became trained terrorists, and then return to the U.S. or Western Europe. That's the biggest fear.
You know, it's interesting you talk about borders, and we've, as we've been watching Congress debate this ISIS strategy the president's laying out, some lawmakers have sort of said we have to look at our own borders, Canada and Mexico, and sort of saying, look, they could get over the border here, those ISIS fighters, but this story, this case, points to the fact that there could be a threat here or could grow here.
That's exactly what everybody's worried about. And this is somebody in Rochester, New York. It's not in the heart of New York City where we think that, you know, recruiting could go on in one of the mosques there. You know, this is in a different part of the country. It can happen in the Midwest. It can happen in the West Coast. So that's the problem with it. You know, we have this effort to contain Ebola and try and quarantine people who have the disease and quarantine the doctors who treat it. But you can't quarantine an ideology, and that's what we're fighting. This whole debate about ISIS is 2 things. One is ISIS has a war machine, much like a conventional army, an occupying territory, and that can have a military outcome, a military effort to defeat that. But the ideology that these people are being recruited to go all over the world to join one group or another, whether it's Al-Qaeda affiliates in Yemen or Nigeria or Somalia, or in this case in the Middle East.
So Tom, here, speaking to your point of ideology and another tool they have in their arsenal, I want to show you this video that has surfaced overnight, put out by ISIS. Take a look, and I want to talk to you and get your gut reaction on it.
Combat troops will not be returning to fight in Iraq.
This is a slickly produced almost like Hollywood type trailer. Obviously propaganda. You see more to come at the end of it. What is your reaction when you see this? It's a far cry from those grainy Al-Qaeda videos that we saw years ago, getting a little more sophisticated in their propaganda.
Oh, absolutely. And we as adults are shocked and outraged and, oh, this is terrible. These young kids see this every day. The war game videos, if you've seen any of these videos, there's nothing more graphic or violent or slickly produced that, so they're completely desensitized to this. And to many young men, that looks like an exciting way to go. Join the cause, go over there, be a war fighter, be a hero. They look at this as a great opportunity.
Thus, the concern. Tom Fuentes, always great to have you on our air. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So the consideration that I want to lay on you now, I observed our moving around. Cat used to be moving the little loosies and shit on the corner. Y'all had y'all little hustles jacked. Who jacked your hustle? I move around and I see other little things going down and I see other little activities occurring, and I'm saying, who jacked your hustle? And where's all that illegal profit going that was coming to you? Who jacked your hustle? I mean, you might be financing your own destruction. We've seen this before. We've seen this on the part of rogue agents inside of the CIA, the FBI, or governmental agencies like the DEA, with Oliver North and Iran-Contra under Ronald Reagan, where they was bringing all that crack cocaine and flooding our communities and taking those illegal profits that they were manipulating you into providing by providing you with all sorts of illegalities that you could engage in so they could trick and trap your ass and put you in a trick box system. The prison industrial complex, that's a market scheme. When you understand that we dealing with markets and schemes and individuals who profit thereby, when you actually get this, then you'll start seeing how these players on the board are moving these pieces and why these pieces are important and where the funding is coming from to support these efforts, because you may just be financing your own oppression. And that's just some real shit. You may just be financing your own oppression. Sobering thought, huh? If the individuals who ultimately supply illegal narcotics to your community are using the profits derived therefrom to support your oppression, you are financing your own oppression. If individuals are extracting resources from you and supporting your destruction, you are financing your own destruction. We've seen it before. Oliver North. Iran-Contra. Yeah, they'll break the law. And get pardoned when they get caught. Games people play.